Hi there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for sharing the videos. I actually remembered, I think this is the first time ever. and liking them. I mean, something as stupid sounding as liking something. I know it sounds lame, but I don't know, it used to make a difference. I don't know if it does anymore. One thing, though, that you could do for me that would make a big difference is go over to my YouTube channel. I don't have a link to it. I could put one on. Maybe I'll remember to, but it's not hard to find. YouTube channel would say Kathy Crow's Cards. It would have my face on it, and then subscribe. It's a free thing to do. It actually makes a difference in how YouTube sees your what you're doing. So I'm trying to find it on the computer. Today I decided instead of trying, my phone can find you, but I do not know what it is about my computer that Facebook doesn't like to do, but maybe it's not them. Maybe if I hit refresh, it'll help. I can see comments better on a bigger screen, so I'm really hoping that I can find it. I did. I just found it. Let me get the sound off, and then if I can get it off, that would be perfect. And then I'm hoping I can see comments. We'll find out. Now it went to this little teeny tiny box that I can't see anything with. And so, okay, now I'm back. I don't know. Last time I had comments on the side like this, and I couldn't find any comments. It never happened. And yet, seemingly they happened, even though I never saw them, but I can see them on my phone. So I'm going to try it again today. I think I'm going to go ahead. While we're going, I am going to get it on my phone also, and then we will see if I can actually see comments either way, because I hate it when there are people on with me and that I never even saw them, because that is part of the fun of doing cards. It's fun to be able to send them to people. In fact, this month, there's a bunch of birthdays, and I know I've double sent cards. I sent Valentine's, I sent, birthday cards, I sent other kinds of cards. And then as I was writing the address, I think I might have sent this already to someone. So if you are part of that group that got 2 cards for the same holiday or memorable, event, I'm terribly sorry that you got 2, but I don't know anybody who minds that. It's just a laugh. The person who sent it, sadly didn't even remember. And that says a lot more about, me than it does about you. So anyway, it's sent with love, and people enjoy getting things. So they're not going to object to getting 2 things, even though they are, they already got them. So sending stuff to people is one way of staying connected, and another way of staying connected is right here when you're with me. So thank you for joining me. I don't know if anyone will. Today I'm here just a little bit early, so I'm sort of taking a tiny bit of time because the box I'm going to do is really cute, and I think you're going to want to do this. It's perfect for this is a St. Patrick's Day event thing. I know tomorrow is actually Valentine's Day, and that's why I am wearing this is the first time I've ever found a sweater I liked with hearts on it in my entire life. So this is the one time I'm ever going to wear a sweater with hearts on it. Is just these last few years of my life, apparently. I looked for them when I was in, a paraeducator in elementary school. The kids would have loved it, but I never found one that I liked. I think Valentine's Day must be one of those holidays that there's not a ton of time for the retailer to sell things too, because Christmas has kind of taken that over earlier, and then it spills into New Year. But then you would think normally, there'd be some things. This year I had a really hard time finding any Valentine's things, and this is one of the first years I'd actually looked. Let me show you the stamp set that we're going to do first. This is called Lucky Clover. Again, this is something that you could buy for your St. Patrick's Day. I love this one. I didn't really have any clover stamps because I've avoided this holiday to a great degree. When you have children at home and they're pinching and slapping and, you know, and there's jokes and haha, it kind of distracts from card sending. But this year now I'm going to finally have time to really get into this. And this one was a good one too, because it has a good friend is like a 4-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. Isn't that cute? It has a punch with it, which I don't know if I'm going to use today. We'll see. The punch must be with this large one. I think there's only one punch on the punch. Let me look at it really quick. I haven't really even gotten it out. So I guess I should probably find it before I get going too much here. I know I have it. There you are. Okay. So yes, it is just that one big stamp, but it's a nice one. So this is partly why I got it. I'll have a nice punch to be able to do Lucky Clovers forever now. And it actually does say Happy St. Patrick's Day on it. And it has a background. So today I am not going to make a whole background, but because we're going to do this cute little box, I am doing I did a background already. I'm going to show you part of one. See what you can do. And this just took no time at all. It probably took me less than 5 minutes to make this background. So right now, you know, it is Celebration, and you know all that goes because you've heard it now for a while. But for anybody who is new to card making and stamping, it's a very fun hobby to have because it's a relatively inexpensive one that you can complete projects in a very short period of time. You can they're disposable. So when you have completed that project and you sent it to somebody and they loved it, they didn't feel like they had to keep it for the rest of their life. And so it's a blessing in every way. It's a blessing to me to make it. It's a blessing to get it because then you don't have to keep it. And it won't hurt my feelings if you throw it away because it's paper. It's paper. It's made to be disposable. I have these out. You're probably wondering, why do you have coffee pods out? These are my Vertuo espresso machine that my lovely daughter and son-in-law bought for me. I would have never spent that much money on a coffee machine, and I'm so grateful for them every day. I say thank you to them because it actually makes good coffee. The box that I'm making, this is a cute little version. Let me show you what I've been doing with it because it's actually a box that you could do for many things. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it today. Let me just get rid of my cardstock for our box. I have relatives who do chickens. Do you have relatives that do chickens? We used to have some friends who had chickens, and Jeep would bring these wonderful fresh eggs to us. Oh man, they were so delicious. I didn't think a fresh egg would be better than a grocery store egg, but it actually can be. And here's my code. If you want to use this, you will get a free package of opal rounds for every $80 you spend. But don't do that. Remember, right now, Celebration, you can get the starter kit for $99 and get for your $99 $175 worth of products. So join our team, do that. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, but who would want to not? Because you get to have a 20 or 25% discount on all of your stuff from then on. So that's a pretty sweet deal because I think this stamp set with the punch, you know, is normally probably, I don't know. I'm going to guess and say it's $35 to $40 for both the stamps and the punch together. And if you had it with a discount of 20 or 25% off, that makes it really doable. And you can start actually acquiring some of the things you want. Right now, Celebration, for every $50 you spend, you get free things. And one of the things that you can get is free on the farm paper. It's farm paper and it's so cute. So I've made these little boxes with these chickens on it. I'm probably not gonna send the boxes to my relatives because they'll be expensive to send because I've got them glued together and they can't really break down. But the cards are so cute, and I just use the On the Farm stamp set and the paper. And this is the other celebration paper. That's the big thick pack that you can get. But aren't those cute? They're going to really love these. Thinking happy thoughts of you with chickens. I mean, I think they're cute because I like farm things. But normally, I think only a chicken lover is really going to like these. And I had a leftover sparkle star that I threw on, and I cut one of our stylish shapes tags in and stuck it under there. And then this is the metal plate embossing, which is really pretty. So anyhow, those are going to be, I'm going to send those to our friends, and if they are watching at any point, they probably know who they are. Now, in your box that we're going to make today, our box today is going to have our Lucky Clover theme. So it is going to be a green box. This one is, I use this cinnamon cider. This was my first box to see how this project was actually going to work. And it worked really well. So your little coffee pods can just sit right in here very easily. If you're going to do it like I am for St. Patrick's Day, though, wouldn't it be nice to send some Irish coffees to someone? Wouldn't they love that? Oh, I've got this one glued in. No, it's not glued in. So I've got my little this is how I buy liquor. I buy it in these teeny tiny bottles because if it's a good one that we might actually drink, wine, it doesn't matter. Jeff and I don't care about wine, don't like it that much. I used to have these little bit bigger. Those wine ones come in those little bit bigger bottles, and I would buy one of those, have it in the cupboard. So when I wanted to make some spaghetti sauce, I could put a little bit of nice wine in it, and nothing, I mean, obviously I'm buying cheap wine when it's bought like that. But it was not, I don't, my calorie count now, I can't even eat spaghetti at home. So I save that for when we are able to have spaghetti out. So I don't even buy wine like this anymore, but, I do keep these little Southern Comforts. I only have 1 or 2 in there, maybe 3 at the most. They're for $1 where we live. And they're nice to put in a little bit of coffee. I mean, one of these can last me a month. And I'm not kidding. But so it's not an amount of alcohol that is going to be like, as long as you're giving it to an adult, it's not going to, unless they're an alcoholic, clearly you wouldn't want to give it to them if they were. And you could put a couple of these in here. You can see it's rolling around. Plenty of room. You can get your little Southern Comfort or whatever you want to put. Any kind of, anything like that. I'm telling you, it's really good in coffee. Really good in coffee. We also have those little, share a milkshake stamp set. And wouldn't that be cute to send little chocolate, a little chocolate syrup and maybe a little alcohol syrup of some kind in there. And you can do your little coffee pots. Now I took our stitched dies and cut out, I didn't with this one because it was my sample, but I cut this, I used the stitch circle. These are a little small. I made them purposely a little small. It's deep enough that you could actually get eggs in here. So this would make a really good little box for Easter time. Use this paper, put some fake Easter grass down there, and you could put those really nice chocolate eggs in there. If you are an egg person and you have chicken eggs and you give them to people, I know 3 eggs doesn't sound like much, but if you are giving fresh eggs to people, believe me, we will take as many as you will give us. So 3 is better than none. And you could give, you'd have to raise your lid a little bit because your eggs would be in there, but you could send your actual eggs in here because you can cut this however, whatever size you want. You can't go much bigger than the circle I've got. Little bigger. You could see these fit in, better. You can make them smaller. So if you've got coffee pods that are the typical, ones that aren't these Vertuo ones, you can make this circle, use a smaller circle die, and then you can get any size that you want. So anyhow, that is what these little boxes are done just with our celebration paper, and aren't they cute? I got from all of us, like, because it's like from all of the chickens, you know. I do have some jokes today on the side in case I get bored with myself. Let's see. Today is a good day. I want to give these away so bad. I am going to give them away with chocolate eggs in them, probably, to neighbors later on. But the cards, the chicken cards, they're going to my family, and I know they will get a good laugh out of them and enjoy that. Okay, we are ready to start. So I do not have this plan in a tutorial, so you'll have to follow along. I don't think I do. I wonder if I did do it. I kind of forget if I did or not. Maybe I'll actually get it on, because I'm going to be doing several projects, and I'll get them on Pinterest. Once they get on Pinterest, it's a little easier for me. I do have to say, if you are following my webpage at all, that I was notified that I was going to have to actually start coughing up a fair amount of money to store all of my card pictures on it. So unfortunately, I had to go in and delete tons. I just deleted all the old stuff. So if you are looking for an old tutorial for something that's been retired a while, I do have the tutorials, but you would have to email me, and then I would have to hunt for it and find it in my Google storage. And it's possible you might get it, but it's not a guarantee. Once it's going to leave the website, it's going to be harder for me to find, but I will do my best. I just obviously Wix is the company that I'm using for the free website, and I can't afford Wix when you start paying for them. I can do it for free, but I can't afford. They're not just a blog. It's an actual website, so they do have to charge you, and unfortunately, I just can't afford them. So I'll have to just stick with the few cards that they will allow me to have. And I can do that, and I don't think anybody is going to be too terribly concerned about it. And I'm just making sure I can see everything, because last time, like I said, I was on here, I couldn't see anything. Okay, I think I'm golden. I think we're all set. It's actually almost time for me to start, or it is. My clock is slow, I guess. So it is after. So everyone should be with me now. So for our box, I am going to do a card if I have time to do it, but Jeff and I are going to go out for our Valentine's dinner after my dinner is what we call it in our family, lunch and dinner combined, because I have to eat early or I gain like 10 pounds every day. So, and you know, those of us who have weight issues, you know, I'm actually only slightly exaggerating. So I've got a top. This is the insert, obviously. This is the bottom. Okay, so those are the three main pieces that we are going to be cutting out. I do also have the little handle, and I had it in my hand, and I set it aside, and now I can't find it. So I will find it somewhere as we progress. I can't believe that I've already lost a piece, and we just haven't even gotten started. I was talking and shuffling pieces. Aha, there you are. So there is this little piece. This is our handle. Now you can see when I cut out a template, a lot of times one that if it's one that I'm going to want to write on like this, I'm going to be, messing with it. I use the back of our paper. This was like from the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper. I keep all of these. Normally I would probably write on the back. On this one I just didn't even bother. I just did it on here with all of this writing on it. Because they're nice and sturdy, and then I can keep it in a little clear envelope, and then I can easily find this project again. I've kind of written all over it because I adjusted sizes as we went to make this actually work better than the original pattern I found. And now that I'm talking about this, I think I have got pictures of this, and I think I posted a project of some kind. It hasn't gotten to your email yet, but I think this is coming in your email, or it might even be on my webpage right now, or on Pinterest. I suspect it's there somewhere, since I do remember taking photos of these boxes, and it was before I'd scribbled on them. So the actual dimensions that I'm using might be slightly different than that, so you might want to note it. We're going to start with the top. This piece is 10.5 inches by 6 13/16. I know that's a hard number to find. Well, I'll help you. It is actually I tried to size it a little differently, and I could have, but it just would have sort of messed everything up. So I decided to just stick with the weird dimensions that I've got. So we're going to start with 10.5 inches. So you can use just a standard sheet of cardstock. You wouldn't have to use this this 12 by 12 that I got out. So I think, to simplify things, I'm going to take my 12 by 12 and save that. And then I won't have to chop up a 12 by 12. I'm going to get out, I think I stamped with Lucky Clover. So because I stamped with Lucky Clover, I'm going to get out sheets of our spruce. And I'm going to get 3 sheets out. I'm not sure that I actually need the 3 sheets, but just to be on the safe side, I bet you I have Lucky Clover paper. Was it Lucky Clover? No, it was, what is that called? It's called, Call Me Clover. That's it. Oh, I do. Let's use our Call Me Clover, because that is the ink pad I actually used. You could use spruce, but it's a little darker, as you can see. So I think this is going to be a little more St. Patrick's Day-like to use our Call Me Clover cardstock. Oh, I forgot. I used a die that I was going to use for our card. Actually, that's going to look really good. This is our spruce on Call Me Clover. That's going to look good. All right, so let's go ahead and cut out what I need. And again, just so I'm refreshing my memory, 10.5 inches long. So I'll pull this out. My blade, I've replaced it, but it's already getting fuzzy again. So I think my tray is really, I think it's dirty. And I'm going to take a second here to clean it, if you don't mind, because I'm going to need a little wipe once you get that green ink out. Oh man, that green ink, it just is like seriously a serious spreader. So I'm just using my little wipey thing to try to clean my track, because I cannot believe my new blade that I just put in probably 2 weeks ago. It can't possibly be. I am going to need this little X-Acto knife, so this is something you will need for this project. And I try to keep this board clean, but it looks like I didn't even attempt it last time. I used some glue right on top of it. I try not to assemble my cards on my cutting board, but sometimes I'm in such a rush to get things done that I actually just assemble right here on this board. That is very foolish to do. I should never do that, because this is what happens, is glue gets on it. It's a lot easier for me to keep things clean if I'm working on this paper underneath, and then I can just throw away that paper. If you keep your tools clean and nice, they do last longer. I know. Okay. Now we've got it wet. Let's dry you off. And then we can finally get going. Okay. 10.5 inches long. That's an easy one. And that means we're only cutting off half of an inch, but at least it is long enough to do this with. So that's the good news. Throwing that piece away. You won't use it. By 6 13/16. Okay, so this is how you find it. If a 16th is a whole inch, which it is, we're going to go all the way up to 7 then, and then just count down 3 little 16th inch lines. They're the little lines, not your centimeter lines, but here on your inches, 1, 2, 3. That third one down, it's just 1/16 over your 3/4 mark. I know this sounds like we're really, I'm really making a big deal about nothing, but believe me, that little 16th of an inch, sometimes it makes a big deal when you're doing something like a box. And if it doesn't really work out, it'll be fine. Just trust me, it'll be fine. All right, now what I'm going to want to do, on all the other ones, I am scoring 1.5 inches over. For this one, this is the top. Apparently, I am scoring 11/16. That does not make sense. Then I've written in, because that's not even correct, because this says 1/16 short of 1 3/4, and I know that's not correct. So let us look here and see what I'm doing. 1.5. 1.5. This is so strange. Why are you? You must be 1 11/16. It's a tiny, tiny bit bigger. So if we're scoring 1.5 on all of these, so basically what it is it is 1.5, and I think it should be just an eighth over that, because you're adding that to all of the sides. So it doesn't seem, I've got written in 1/16 short of 1 3/4, but I think that to me sounds pretty long, pretty large. I'm going to simplify this, and we're going to find out if it works. I'm going to go 1 and basically 5/8. Okay, 1 5/8. And I think I'm going to write this down, because I'm sure this is going to work, and it'll make this a lot simpler to me if it does work. So we're going to just put it in pen. 1 5/8 is what you're scoring all the way around on this top piece. Oh boy, I hope this works. If it doesn't, all it means is that I have to cut out a whole nother green sheet. It's not that big a deal. Okay, 1 5/8. And 1 5/8. And another 1 5/8. Okay, now 5/8, in case you're wondering, how did she figure that out? Go to your half point, and then it's 2 little one line, which is the 16th, 2 of those up, or in other words, an 1/8 up. So it's your halfway mark, and then just move up another 1/8, and you're at 5/8. Okay. I'm sure that's as clear as mud. Now you want to score all of these. We're going to go ahead and score and cut each piece as we do it. This is the top, and then that'll just make it easier for me to not get too sidetracked on what I'm doing. So looking at it from the short is on the top and bottom. Okay, that's how we're going to be cutting. We're going to cut these ends there. Just to the fold. I actually accidentally cut a little bit further than that, but you want to just go to the fold line, or scored line. I didn't even burnish it. I should have, because then I could have seen it a little bit better, but that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start on the corner and cut in like this. Okay, so we're going to just cut off just a little bit of our ends, and it's going to look like that. And why am I cutting it that way? You could just cut it straight across, and that works too. It's just, this is actually going to reinforce my corner just a little bit by keeping it up there. Then take your bone folder. That is got to be cleaned. You are really disgusting looking bone folder, I know. Glue. All I have to say is lots and lots of glue on the hands. You know, I don't use these to do stuff with ink like other people do, so I don't even have that excuse. It's just sticky tape and glued fingers handling it. All right, I think I have neighbors who drink. It's not like they're raging alcoholics or anything. Obviously, if they were, I wouldn't be giving them alcohol. But And I also understand for those of you who have alcoholics in your family, you're thinking, gee, you don't always know that they are. I understand all of that, but these people, I've seen them and know them long enough now. We've been here almost 2 years here, and I live in Springfield, Missouri. If you're here anywhere near me, please come and stop by and see us. Let's go ahead and just do this box because this is going to stay this color. I am not going to be putting any DSP on it. So we'll just glue this up right now. And I better get my clips, then I don't have to hold on to it while it's drying. I'm just going to grab a couple of clothespins and clip these as I put on the glue. So I'm gluing the long side. It tends to be a little easier to do if you do it like this. So we'll put glue on the long side. Like that, and we'll put that together and clip. And this one, now I didn't cut it quite right because I see my side is a little taller on that side. You know, my measurements are not always perfect, even though I'm trying. I'm gonna push hard on that once I got that other side clipped just to get it going. Pushing hard, if you do tape, make sure you push hard. Tape works, and you can use just tape if you want to. Personally, I find this to be a bit stronger than the tape, so I prefer glue for boxes, but when I'm in a rush, and especially if it's a box that I know I'm not putting anything heavy in at all, then I'm not averse to using tape in those cases. But if I'm gonna have anything I really want that I want to stay nice, I'm gonna want to put glue on it, and so then I don't have to worry about my little box edges not being really super secure. Oops, you're a little snug. Hopefully it works. We'll find out. Okay, so there's our bottom. We'll set that aside for a minute. Now let's pull over the top. Get another whole sheet of your cardstock. And we will do, that was the top. Okay, so now we're doing the bottom. The bottom is 10 1/4, just a little bit shorter. And 6, excuse me, and 7/16. Now remember the other one was 6 13/16. So this one's, you know, a little bit smaller. It's because the lid's gonna fit down over it. So 10 1/4 is what we want to cut first. So 10, we'll go up to 10 and then 1/4. Oops, it shifted. Okay, 10 1/4, and then let me throw that away. 6 7/16. Okay, so let's go to 6. All right, 7/16. Oh, that is one short I wrote of 6 1/2. So it's a 16th short. So you go up to 6 1/2. And then just come down to the line that's just under that. Now, before I cut that, I'm gonna double check. Okay, yeah, that is smaller. I just wanted to make sure it's actually smaller than my top that I just cut. Okay, so went to the half mark. I went down to the 1/8. That's 7/16. Cut that off. And now you're going to score all the way around 1.5 inches. It's a much easier dimension to use. 1.5. My score tool flies off. Does yours do that? Every time. I actually keep it out of the tray because I've hunted on the floor for it so many times because it flings off on the floor. It's hard to find. It goes under furniture. Okay, 1.5. There it went. It fell out. At least I was done with it. So I'll stick it over there. Let's burnish these folds this time before I try to cut. Actually, I'm not going to do that because once you've burnished it, you can see it better. It's true, but it's a little harder to cut because it's burnished. So I'm going to cut it same way. You just have the short side up at the top and bottom, and then you're going to cut the sides where you scored, right where you scored, just to where the cross score went, and then start at the outside corner and cut in just a little, so that when you fold your box top in, it's gonna be a little easier to manage. It's a little bit different than how we usually cut those corners. I mean, you can even cut it like this, but I do think that this tiny, tiny bit actually does reinforce this corner just a little bit. Now, you can put your DSP on now if you want to, but I am gonna wait, I think, until I'm done. Should I wait? I think I'm going to. One thing you want to do is put a hole. Okay, this is where you're going to use your X-Acto knife. So I'm going to take these two pieces that I've already cut, and I'm going to slide them underneath here just to keep my paper from being cut, because I'm going to be using it for a little bit. And I've already got slit in here. Oh, that's the bottom. Oh, we're doing the bottom. I needed to do this with the top. Good thing I didn't do it then. I need to do it with the top, not the bottom. So let's just assemble this, and then I'll get the... Now I've clipped the top, so, oh, sheesh. It's going to be a little more awkward, but oh well. We'll make it work. It will work. It will be fine. It is such a beautiful sunny day outside today. I told Jeff he's home. He didn't get a teaching job today because he couldn't find any that he really wanted to do. He's a substitute teacher that's retired. I mean, he's a teacher that's retired, but he's just a substitute teacher now, which is really sweet. He only takes the jobs he wants. I mean, how nice is that? I was a paraeducator, so his job was always a lot nicer than mine, except for those first years. I do have to say a teacher works really hard, so no, my first years were really wonderful, and it would have been really nice at the end too, but they just changed the system so much it wasn't a pleasant job anymore, but it had been a great job. And but even at its best, even when it was a really good job, you work about the same during the day as a teacher, but you get paid half of what they get paid, and you get very little respect, I have to say. Plus, sometimes you're having to carry out policies that none of the teachers want to follow either, and you're the police that has to actually make that happen. So, yeah, didn't turn out to be a great job at the end of my career. It was great at the beginning, but... So Jeff, when we moved here to Springfield and decided to substitute, they pay their substitute paraeducators the same as their teachers. Yeah, I know. And so he thought, because he'd heard me whine a lot about the job, but he'd never done it, so he had no idea. He came home the one time that he substituted for a paraeducator and said, "You guys are on your feet all day. I didn't have a break." I couldn't believe I had to run all over the building. And I was thinking, yeah, teachers get 2 prep times and a lunch, and we get no prep time and a 20-minute lunch if you're lucky and don't have to use that whole time to use the bathroom. So anyway, some of those jobs are better than others too, I do have to admit. Okay, so because I didn't quite cut it perfect and it's just off a tiny bit, I am trimming that. Now, I have forgotten which is the top and which is the bottom because they look the same now. Let's see which one fits over which. That one looks a little bit smaller. And that one. Now, they're going to be really close. They need to be because with stuff in it, no, it's got to be the other way. There we go. Okay. They're very close. They need to be. You want it to be snug, because otherwise it's going to fall out. I should have cut it that extra. It really needed that little extra. So I'm going to take the top Really did need that little 1/8 extra. Should have just left it the way it was. So no, not 1 5/8. Stick with your 1 3/4. It will give you just that little bit of extra that's going to make it work a little better. This is going to be just a tiny bit on the snug side, but it is going to stay in. So since this is my top, and I'm going to double check again, make sure it really is my top. But yeah, it is, because this one, if I do it this way, it's even going to be more snug, because I'm going to have to really cram it in to do it that way. So no, this is the top. Okay, all right, so this is my top. So I'm going to put that right on my computer so I don't get that confused. And then clip off my tiny, tiny extra bit. I don't know why it did that. It shouldn't have. I must have scored it slightly differently on one side than the other. Okay, these things happen. Now, since this is my top, I've got little slits right here where that handle is going to go down in. And I know you're thinking, what? You're just sticking your handle in there? Yes, I am, and it will work. It works great, as long as you're not like trying to carry 5 pounds in it. The weight you're going to have in this is going to be fine. So what you're doing is you're coming down 1 inch, and then you are going to do a slit across right there in the center. And it doesn't have to be exactly in the center, so I wouldn't even worry about it. Just eyeball it. This is a 1 inch at the top, but it's only 5/8 of an inch as a strap. Okay, so I'll show you how to cut that in a minute, but we're not really worrying about that. Right now, I'm just using my template to do this. So I'm going to fashion this on here, mainly because I've already assembled this. And I'm just cutting through. It's a 1 inch slot. Okay, just like that. So I just cut little slits 1 inch across in the center, an inch in from the ends. And that's now my top. Now my top is marked so I can see it really clearly. And then when I put the DSP on it, I'll just cut from the bottom of the lid up into that. All right, so I'm going to put those aside. Let's do the little insert. All right, so our insert is 10 inches long. And I could do, if I wanted to, I could actually just, in fact, I think I will. I'm going to use my paper that I've stamped. So I took my Lucky Clover stamp, and I'll show you after I'm done here how I did this. And then I just stamped with Call Me Clover ink all over with the big one, all of these images stamped all over it, very full. And then I used Parakeet Party and did the same thing, but just with the little one and the fill, just those, and then put those all over. The light green Parakeet Party, you could just stamp right into your images and it didn't show. It was really easy. You could just go crazy on it, random, and it looked great. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my insert with this. So let's cut it 10 inches across. Let's see which end is better than the other. I guess I'm fine where I am. Okay, so 10 inches across, and then 6 3/8. So 6, and then you just want to count your 3/8 up. So those are just, again, the one little teeny lines, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go right there. 6 3/8. I'm going to save this for my handle or one of the sides. And then we're going to score 1.5 inches all the way around. All right. 1.5 inches up. I don't have any St. Patrick's Day jokes or Valentine's Day jokes. I do have some jokes I'm going to do, but I was going to look and find some I bet there's some funny St. Patrick's Day ones. This box would be perfect for your Valentine's. If you still are looking for a Valentine's thing, look, you could do the same little box, and then you could put, now you wouldn't want to use eggs, but you could do, I mean, that little coffee is great for anybody, anytime. And they don't have just coffee pods, I bet. I bet they've got cocoa pods. I bet they've got tea pods. I don't know because I don't look at that stuff, but I bet you they do. Anything that would fit in the little circle thing. You could put any kind of filler underneath to kind of, you know, make it stronger and, or, you know, I mean, push it up so it didn't have to go all the way to the bottom of the box to support it. Okay, now what we want to do is cut our circles in the middle. So to do that, I'm going to cut from the bottom down, and I'm going to use my template. But basically, what you can do, let me grab my die. Okay, I've got stitched shapes, but you could use stitched, stylish stitched shapes has circles. Anything that has a circle that's close to this size circle. It's the next biggest one in the our regular stitched shapes. It's a tiny, tiny bit bigger. No, actually, it's a tiny, tiny bit smaller. It's almost perfect, actually. Let me tell you the measurement of the circle. That might be helpful for you. It is 2 1/8 of an inch. But so you can, if you want to, you can position these in. Start in the middle. You know, find your center, and that would be 5 inches. And lay this on here, and then you could eyeball it and do it this way. But you know, just to save time, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go ahead and just use my template. I'm going to line it up, and then just use my pencil on the bottom of my lid. And it doesn't matter if I sloppily do it because I'm cutting those out. And then I'm going to drag over the cutting machine. Now remember, right now, oh boy, you wouldn't want to get the mini to cut something like this. But the mini machine that you can get with your starter kit right now, you want to get the starter kit and get the mini. You can get a really good deal on the little mini right now. So I would definitely recommend that you want to get a cutting board. If you don't have one, you definitely want to get one because we use them all the time. All right, so I'm going to put this here. This is a little bit bigger than your standard 6-inch size, so it's going to hang over the edge just a tiny bit, but not enough to interfere. Okay, so we'll put that right there. Put that plate on it and run that through. So my stitched markings are going to be on the wrong side, but my little coffee pod's going to cover that anyway. So it doesn't matter. And better to have my markings on the bottom. I mean, you can mark things on the top and then erase them, but unless you're really good at that, you're going to end up with some markings that you didn't want, probably right on your lid, or on your insert, rather. And I'm going to save these. They're cute. I mean, that one looks a little bit messed up because of my stamp, but that one, the stitching, like I said, you can see it's on the wrong side, but generally, it's fine. You know, I can't use this because that's green. It's really dark. If it was super light, I could probably use this top part still and stamp something on it and use it as a sentiment. But not that one. Okay, let's put you over here. And good, this die doesn't actually even leave. Some of our dies have double stitching on this object and then stitching here, but my standard, this one's a retired set, I think, because it has the ovals, and I don't know why they didn't just keep this one, because this is a really good one. But Stylish Shapes has the same circles. In fact, it has more circles. And it has this circle. It might be just a 1/16 of an inch off, but it's so close that I use it interchangeably all the time. All right, so now we're going to assemble the little insert, and I'm really hoping that these go inside nicely. And then I'm going to need to stamp another bit of background because I kind of forgot I was going to have my paper on the top on my box too, not just on this insert. I forgot I was going to use a whole sheet just on the insert. But it's not a big deal because it does go really, really fast. Grab my clips. All right, so today when I came home, Jeff said, I thought you probably would have already gone to the park because it's such a beautiful day today. We went and had coffee together, and normally we do that, but on days like this where I'm busy, you know, I mean, on days when he's substitute teaching, obviously we don't do that, but because I can't get up that early. I am not an early riser. Sheesh. And it's so easy for him. He doesn't sleep as well as I do, though. That's partly why he can get up so easy. I sleep really well, and that's hard for me to get up. So he's usually gone, and he's usually having his coffee by the time I get up, or if it's a school that's a little farther away that he has to drive to, he might even already be on the road to the school by the time I get up. I go work out, he does too, and then we come home, and he said, I thought maybe you would have just gone straight on to the park because it's so beautiful out there. Man, I think he said it was going to be almost 60 degrees this week here in Springfield. Oh, it's so beautiful here. We love it. Okay, here's my little insert. Let's see how you work. Oh, you're going to be so cute. My neighbor's going to be happy to get this. All right, so that fits right in there like this. And so to get it to stay in, you know, and all and nice, I would recommend just sticking some. I know you're kind of covering up some of the fun here, but, you know, I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. So I'm going to glue in these sides. You can glue in the other sides too. And then that's just going to kind of hold that whole bottom of your box together really nicely. Okay, so just press it in there. This insert's going nowhere once you've done this. The insert's a little bit smaller, so it is going to cinch your box in, which if, in this case, if you made it just a tiny bit on the large side, is actually going to work in your favor anyway. It's all going to have to cinch in a little bit. You can see that it shouldn't be doing that, and my other ones didn't, and the other ones I actually cut correctly, so that would be why. You can see I ended up with basically, when you account for all four sides, almost a 1/4 of an inch too much here, and that's the problem. So it's okay. I can do it. It'll be fine. Just stick with my original dimensions. So I do, like I said, I did put this on some kind of a tutorial somewhere. So when you find it, if you want to use it, stick with the dimensions I have written in, and you'll be all set. Okay, let's do the handle. I want the handle to be done from this paper. This is pretty good cardstock. If it was going to be really flimsy cardstock, I would reinforce it with another piece of my green, but this is pretty sturdy. It's not super sturdy, but it's sturdy enough, and I can use my scrap. So this piece is, where are you, ruler? This piece is 8 1/8. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it 8 1/4. Okay, it could even be this. This must be 8 1/2, and that would actually work. Where did my cutting board go? There you go. I'm going to cut just this little bit off right here, just a little bit, because the length of it doesn't really matter quite so much. I need it to be fairly skinny, but I need this little hook on the end. So I'm going to leave it as wide as it is. It's a little wider than this piece, but I'm going to lay my straps in here, and then I'm going to just use my scissors to cut in. Now, if you wanted to do this correctly, you would be cutting this piece. This one that I'm working with is actually 1 inch, but to do it correctly, you would want to have it at 7/8 of an inch. Okay, but I'm just not going to worry about it being just a tiny bit, that 1/8 of an inch wider. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to snip here, trying to keep it straight, snip here. These inside pieces are going to be inside your box, so they don't really have to be super good looking, but it needs to be bigger. So now I can cut from this corner down to that corner, and then the middle will be skinny. And then this, we're just going to round it up. Oops, I just did it wrong because I want it to be, it needs to be bigger, not smaller. I just made it smaller. Well, I'm going to do it like that because it needs to be rounded, but this is going to be cut like that. So that side I did not want to cut off, but I did. You want to do an arc from there all the way over to your corner right there. That's what I should have done. Okay, so now when you slide this into your box top, these little things you're going to kind of hook, and it'll hook on and stop it from going up. Since I screwed that up, I'm going to have to do it again. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. This time I'm going to do it the right length. So instead of it being 1 inch, I'm going to do it at 7/8 of an inch. Okay, like there. Actually, I'm going to make it 1 inch just to be sure that I've got it wide enough for my, let's do it 1 inch. And then I want it to be 8 inches, and 8 what did I say? 8 1/4. I'm going to do 8 1/4. 8 1/4. That doesn't seem long enough. It's not. Oh, that's because that was 6 1/4. 8 1/4. Is that long enough? Yes. Okay, 8 1/4. Okay, let's do this again. Use my little template. So you're coming down from this top. You're actually coming down 3/8 of an inch. That's where your notch is. 3/8 of an inch. On this side, just a little notch in. Oh, I would say the notch is about a little less than 1/4. It's more like an 1/8 of an, you know. It's not a big notch, just a little notch. Little snip. And then go from that corner. See if you can see what I'm doing. And then just go round it up. And then down to that corner. So you just have a little round. It'll help you stick it into that lid to have it rounded. Okay. And then, oh, my hand is really jammed in my scissors there. Now I'm going to take the cutting board again and just cut from the inside notch that I made. Now, it's not, you know, straight at the top, so you do have to be a little careful here. So I'm cutting from here to here. It's hard to get your, I need to kind of see it. Because I need to see through this to where I am. There and there. It shivs every time I lift my hand. Okay, so you don't want your blade there. You want your blade there. Okay, and then we're going to cut right to... And you don't go all the way. It'd be better to use your scissors to just complete that little cut. Otherwise, you might go a little too far. Okay, then we're going to just do the on the other side, same way. Lay it in, find where the edge is here. Right there. And there. And then we're going to put the cutting track right under where you want it to cut. I can do it. Okay, get your blade set where it's going to be. I didn't do that before, and that would have been helpful if I had. All right, and then you can just go snip, and then you've got your nice little come. Okay, now you can see with the lid how that is so much easier to fit in than if I hadn't rounded it, you see. And then what you do is you just curve these in, and it is going to hold that beautifully. Now I want to put a cute DSP all over it, and I don't have any Lucky Clover cute DSP. Oh, come, you can do this now. Once you do get it in there, it's kind of, I'm going to have to fold one side to get it back out again. So I'm sort of ruining my design a little bit to redo that for you. But anyway, just fold it out. It'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside and that aside. Now, what I need is the dimensions for my DSP. I think I wrote it down on my tutorial, but I have no idea what it is. Plus, I have to actually make the DSP. So let me grab a whole sheet of cardstock. Because I think we can do it with just one. I think we can easily do it with just one whole sheet. And I do have one little tiny bit that actually could work right here. So I have a tiny bit of extra. But this is going to show you how easy to do this background anyway. So it's fine. All right, so you're going to use one of those. And we're going to use our, let's start with our big Lucky Clover. And I'm using Call Me Clover, but you know, you could use any of the greens would be fine. Just have a lighter and a darker one. I just remembered that this one was going to be a better green for St. Patrick's Day. All right. Oops, I didn't quite get a good enough impression there. Oh well, it's fine. I'm gonna do this pretty quick and if it tends to be just a little sloppy, oh well. I just want you to see how easy and quick you can make a really nice button. Here you go. Now, so this is the only problem with this project is all of the green ink that you're going to be wanting to get on your hands. Don't let it happen because it can be pretty messy. So we're going to do a big pattern with these. I think that's plenty for this one. And Simply Chamois gonna get really, really yucky with all this green ink. Green is one of the colors that stains, oh man, I think even worse than the red. And red's pretty strong. All right, how about the middle one? Let's do the little middle Lucky Clover. You're so cute. I really like these. You know, haven't we had clovers before? Why don't I have any? I don't understand why I don't have any, because I haven't been doing Stampin' Up! For so long that I have everything. Now, I'm gonna, since I flubbed that one, I'm gonna use you somehow. Nah, maybe I'll use the littler one to camouflage that just a little bit. And I think that's enough for that one. Let's just stick with that. You can always go back in and add. Probably better to err on the, last side, at least for your first go round. Okay, we're gonna use you right there, and then that'll help hide my flub. Okay, now that I'm doing this part, I can actually, I don't have to think quite so much. So I can start I love doing my jokes because they amuse me if I'm getting bored. Here's a stupid one, but in fact, it's so stupid. It took me a minute to think about what in the heck. That doesn't even sound funny. Okay, yeah, it's the way you say it. So here's the joke. It's easy to convince ladies not to eat Tide Pods. Now, Tide Pods, here's an aside. Why are all the laundry soaps going to these pod things? I hope they work better than my powder detergent does, because powder is loose. I know the pods are more of a liquid, so presumably they dissolve much better than my powder, because sometimes that's an issue. Now I'm going to use this one, and then we're going to start with our Parakeet Party and fill it all in. And I experimented with making light and dark, and I didn't like the stamped off version at all. So we're going to just go ahead and randomly stamp around all of these images, but with the straight on strength. And you can see it's a very forgiving background stamp. And because if it goes in, you can't see it all that much, it's not that big of a deal if you don't quite do it perfect. It'll be fine. So this is a really, really good set for beginners to do background papers, to show them that they don't have to buy all the DSP, that they can buy a stamp set and actually make something really nice that coordinates with it without having to buy all of the paper too. Because, if you're buying all of the ink and the paper and the stamps and the embellishments and the ribbon, it gets to be a lot. For those of us who are, have been doing this for a while, we have such a collection of items that we probably don't need all of those things. Oops, I double stamped. Oh well. Okay, that's good. I don't want to get too carried away. A little bit of blank is good because I'm still coming back in with a bunch. So hopefully I didn't overdo it. All right, so here's the joke. It's easy to convince ladies, which this is a stupid premise anyway about ladies eating Tide Pods, but forget that. Okay, so here we go. It's easy to convince ladies not to eat Tide Pods, but harder to detergent. Okay. I thought that was a really stupid one. I'm sure you do too. So, the other ones are better. That one was just a stupid one. Okay, Parakeet Party. This is what kind of just livens it up. So I don't want to use the dark. No, scratch that. I don't want to use the big one, but I do want to use all of the other ones. And we can go right in on top of the ones we've already got. Because you want to just create your fill, okay? Like I said, this is you getting to create your own background DSP. And when you're just kind of randomly doing it like this, it's so super easy. And it's going to coordinate really nicely with your little insert that you already did. You just want to keep turning your stamp around. Don't keep holding it and pushing it down in one direction. Keep moving it around so that the stem is up and stem is down, you know, various times. It's getting pretty full. Normally I probably wouldn't have, I should have probably not put quite as much of my background stamp on there. I don't know if I'm going to do the background with this Parakeet Party. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens when I get done with all of this stamp. And then, you know, you can put words in here too if you wanted to. If you were always going to use this you'd probably always use for St. Patrick's Day, so you'd be pretty safe to. I think that's going to do, because I do want to use the background one as well. You could be safe putting St. Patrick's Day or the good luck or sending the luck and love. You know, those words would be really cute in there too. All right, here's a better joke. I asked my date to meet me at the gym, but he never showed up. I guess it's not going to work out. Haha. That one needs a really good delivery. Like a good Jack Benny delivery. I'm not any Jack Benny, that's for sure. Okay. Which might be a good thing, I don't know. Since he's not alive anymore, it's probably a good thing. He was one of the funniest comedians ever. That's all. If you don't know who he is, then you should go Google him. All right, let's see here. Jack Benny aged better than some of those old comedians as far as the humor goes. I bought a Milton Berle at the Troops show that he did at some point in time in the 50s. On a DVD or VHS. That was probably actually a VHS that I bought and watched it without Jeff, which I wish I'd watched it with Jeff, because he would have been surprised too. It wasn't as funny. I mean, Milton Berle, he was like Mr. Television in the 50s. He was funny. Everybody loved him. And we've seen so many things that he did that was funny. Everybody probably should know. If they don't know, it's a mad, 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 mad world. He was in that and hilarious, and he's a very funny man. I think he might even still be alive. My goodness, he's got to be old if he is. You can correct me if you know that he's not. All right, but that was actually some of that stuff. They could really insult people back then, and you could do it without fear. All right, we're going to make this one 3 inches by 6 3/4. Okay. We're going to just cover the whole top. So 3 inches. Let's go this way. 3 inches by 6 3/4. Let's see if my 3 inches is really wide enough. Yeah, it is. Okay. 6 3/4. All right. Now you're going to just glue this down. And then once it's dry, we'll just use the that little X-Acto blade from the bottom up to cut right through that little slit. But you do want to make sure it's dried really good before you do that. Now you don't want to put anything on these sides because the box sliding in and out will ruin it quite a lot. So you don't want to do that. And this needs to be 1 1/8. 1 1/8 by 6 3/4. Okay, so we'll go 1 1/8 going to do 2 of those. Let's use the one that I've got over here already. 1 1/8. Oops, come on. There you are, right there. Okay, 1 1/8. By 6 3/4. There, and 6 3/4. Right there. I think Jeff is either listening to music or he's singing down there. If he's singing and he knows I can hear him, he'd be so embarrassed. When I was a kid, my brother and sister used to laugh at me a lot because I could easily entertain myself singing to my audience in front of the mirror. Dreams of glory. Okay, now here, if you are an actual musician of any kind, singer or musician, and you come here to Springfield, there are actually places you can perform here. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of great talent out here. Okay, so 1 1/8. We're going to do it again. 1 1/8. We might be able to get both of these right here on the edge. I bet we can. Let's see. We are going to do this one. Oops. We want this one 3 1/4. So let's see if we have enough. 3 1/4 and 3 1/4. Woohoo! And there you go. Oh, you are so cute. And I have enough left over to do a couple of cards. So that's going to be nice. Okay, here's another joke for you. The difference between a numerator and a denominator. Okay, the difference between a numerator and a denominator is a short line. Okay, there's more. Hang on. Only a fraction of people will understand this. You know, that is another one that is almost as lame. It's not quite as bad, but almost as the Tide Pod detergent. Now back to the Tide Pods. So do you like the pods better than the, powder soap? I'm not convinced. I'm going to hang on to this piece. That's actually a pretty good little piece of that. I doubt if I'll use that. I'll hang on to this just in case, but I probably won't use it. And now let's grab our little pieces again, just to protect the paper and the board. And then wherever you cut, and cut it again. Oops, try not to go off of your line. And voila, we are almost done. Now you want to do a nice little label. Let's, I can't really use those. Let me grab, oh, where are you? Oh, here you are. We've got some over here. Let's grab one of these. Let's do this. And we can even take one of my circles, I bet. And, no, that's going to be too much. Let's do one of my punches. Where are you, punch? This is pretty big, so I'll probably need a bigger scrap than this. Let's just check it out. Yeah, that's not big enough. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and stamp on it. So this time, I think we'll still go ahead and use our Call Me Clover, because that's the color I'm using, but you could use any green. The Parakeet Party or that spruce one. Let's do the big one. We'll see how you cut out. I haven't done this yet with this particular punch. This will be my first time. So we'll do a couple. Oh, what the heck, we'll do 3. Just in case. See how that green just like, it's super staining. A lot of times with green and red, I actually use a wipe before I stick it on my chamois, just to keep my chamois from having to be cleaned so often. Green and reds, they're just super bad. And purple can be sometimes too, but I think these are worse. Okay, now the only thing about the stamp bit, or the punch, is that I really would have liked it if the stem had been here instead, because it seems like I waste a lot of paper needing to give myself a handle. All right, so let's see here. Oh, you are that way. Oh my goodness, what a dope. I was thinking it was going in the other way. I actually needed my handle the other way. So let's grab out, because now I'm going to have a hard time finagling you. I'm going to have to grab some washi tape. And we'll make a little handle for you because I cut you the wrong way. It actually was going the correct direction. Okay, so this is how you can, if you've cut your cardstock the wrong way to get your punch in there, you can make a little temporary handle for yourself to help get it in. I did it really sloppy. Let's get it better so I can actually work with this. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's your punch. Oh, you're cute. Not going in quite as well as I want you to. Like you're not lined up the way I want you to. That's the deal. Huh. Yeah, it's my tape. It's not cooperating very well. Let's try. Let's try this one just so I can get one going. It's a good one. Oh, mine is too short. Okay, too long. Okay, here we go. Oh, good, 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 good. You are perfect. I was worried there for a minute, but it actually is perfect little clover. You're so cute. Now, if I didn't have to look at it, then I could actually get it punched the way I want, going down instead of up. But, you know, I've got to look at the thing. You can actually you can stamp a punched one, but since these are clings, that's pretty tough to do. I wouldn't recommend it. You're just not, you really need to leave a handle for your, it'd be less time consuming to just stamp it again. Let's try the one I have a handle on. Try to smooth my tape down so I can get it in here right. Come on, you're just not, why are you not cooperating with me? Don't know. Punch. Okay. All right, finally, success. Oh my goodness, that was time consuming. It's just the getting every little border. I'm like super anal about it, so it's like I gotta have every single little border perfect. Okay, we're only doing 2 because that was like taking time for like 10, and I am getting done here. This is it. I don't want to take. I haven't seen any comments, and I just don't know if it's because I can't get any comments or what. Maybe no one's with me today. Who knows? All right. So we've got this. We've got this. We don't want to interfere with our handle, so let's go ahead and stick the handle in here. Okay, and if it's not cooperating, use your X-Acto blade. Make sure that's open. There. And stick in our little handle. Oh, you are so cute. And then just kind of fold your corners up a little, just enough to catch, you know, to catch that. And it does hold really well. Again, if you're like putting in tons of weight, it wouldn't. But for this sort of light little stuff, it's good. Oh, you're so cute. Okay, now we can put in our sentiment. St. Patrick's Day sentiment. Now, St. Patrick's Day, you are nice and long. So I think instead of putting it on here, we'll put it on another label, and we'll stick this like this, and we'll put it on another label. And cut it out. Let's go this direction so we can fit that on there. Okay, I found a wooden shoe in my toilet today. It was clogged. A good one for your Dutch friends. Okay, happy St. Patrick's Day. So cute. So cute. I just broke up with my mathematician boyfriend. I'm married, so these are jokes, okay? She was obsessed, or he was obsessed, not she, sorry. He was obsessed with an X. Man, that's a good one. You know, algebra, that sort of thing. Okay. Let's move some of my scraps out of the way because I'm starting to feel a little claustrophobic and overwhelmed with all of my trash. Oops, I just lost a bunch of it on the floor. And I want to hang on to my scraps that I'm still using. But I've got to cut this out. That's why I'm sort of making space here because I want to get my machine up. And we will cut that out in a nice little... Let's grab our stylish shapes. Now, I think stylish shapes is actually on the clearance rack, or was it? Am I mistaken about that? But I think I saw it on the clearance rack. Oh, you're not long enough, you stinker. Let's go like this. And then we'll cut it 2 times. Okay, we'll go like this. Make sure it's straight. We'll go part of the way. And then we'll turn it around and go the other part of the way. So this is how you can make all of your dies that are rectangular or square. You can make them as long or short as you want to. Now I do kind of pick it up, feel where those stitches are. Try to get those stitches in because you really don't want the stitches to be in a different place than... I turned that over because my magnet was, my plate slightly bowed. And I could feel my magnet wasn't really cooperating there. Okay. So now that I did that, if you feel the stitches, you can get it nice and straight. Just put it in there. Feel that it's getting the stitches in the right place. And it is something that you can really only, I mean, you can kind of see it, but it's more of a thing that's just easier to feel it fitting in like a puzzle. Okay, so now we've got that. All right, you're so cute. I do really like this shamrock. Okay, so we can stick that there, and I think that's going to be good. I could, if this paper that I made was not as busy as it is, it's super busy, I think I would be tempted to put some twine or something under there, but that is like super busy. And because this is going to be a lid hoisted around, I'm gonna glue everything down instead of using a bunch of dimensionals. I think I might put dimensionals on you, little cute shamrock, just because you're pretty easy to do. Let's do another one. Boy, it's going to be down really good. Normally, I probably wouldn't put 4 down for something like that. 3 would have been plenty, but we'll just make sure. You're going to fit on there really nice. Okay, very cute. And then I think my pods are here somewhere, but I don't even see them now. So, oh wow, I just have to remember what it looks like. Aren't you cute? Let's see what time it is. Oh, we're doing pretty good. Maybe we have time for one quick card, because I really wanted to show you a nice slim card with our slim card dies. Now, our slim card dies, I think they were on clearance. They are probably gone now. I hope not, because if you didn't get them and you wanted them, oh man, getting them on clearance would have been super sweet. Now, there's 2 in the die. The slim card dies has the rectangle, the diagonal grid. It also has this pattern. I think this pattern really fits well with the shamrock theme. So I'm going to save this for another card that I'll do on my own, so that you're not having to look here. And this piece of paper I'm working with, I believe this looks like 8.5. I don't think I cut it at all. It's as big as you're going to want. You don't need anything bigger. I think we want it to be 4 inches, but I'm going to lay this on here. It might be a little smaller than that. Oh, it is. We don't need this to be any more than 3.5 inches. So this is going to be a very slim, skinny slim card. They do also have 2 really nice edges. These are beautiful long die cuts. Normally ours are 6 inches, and this is very long. This must be 8 inches, pretty close to that. So this is really useful for all kinds of things, envelopes, not just your cards, just all kinds of things. So I hope you didn't miss out on this. I didn't get this for a long time, so that's why this is new to me. I haven't shown anything hardly with these slim card dies. I've used them a bunch, but I don't think I've shown them. I kind of missed that opportunity, because you do, to show it, it has to be current. It really can't be something not current, because it's no fun to see something you can't get. I do think you could probably get them on eBay, but you don't want to. If you can at all get them before they are gone, that's always the best course, because dies, sometimes you can get dies at a really good price secondhand that way, but boy, I'd never take a chance. And on something like this, I don't think you will. I think you'll end up paying more than you would have if you just bought it while it was in the catalog. Okay, now I could have run and I should have put my adhesive sheet on the back before I ran that die through, but I didn't. This stretches, so it's kind of a tricky one to stick on. I'm having a hard time, because I already cut my paper. I might end up having to redo. No, maybe I'll make it. Okay. pretty good. But it does kind of, this one, the other die doesn't do this so much, but this one can kind of get a little bit misshapen. I'm going to use this because I've got glue, I've got green, and I do need to kind of pat that down. Get rid of some of that excess glue that kind of popped up there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now you can put in your little excess shamrocks that you already did. You could put in one of your little straps if you have a piece that you want to cut and do that. I think I'm going to find the one that I like. I'm going to use you. And I know I punched out another one. Where did you go? Where did the one that I punched out? Where did you go? Let's find it. I don't see it. Rats. I might have to punch this one out because I don't see it. Maybe I want to use this instead of my... No. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll do this. And we're going to do a large square and the U. And we'll put our sentiment there and we'll punch this one out and we'll be all set. Okay, so for my card, Happy St. Patrick's Day, I am definitely going to want to use Happy St. Patrick's Day, but I'm going to have to, that one's just not going to fit in. So we're going to do sending luck and love. Just because normally I would take the time to just stamp it the way I wanted it, but I don't want to take a long time with this card so that we can get in and out. We'll stamp sending luck and love. Cute. So cute. I can't take my dog to the pond anymore because the ducks keep attacking him. Why? Why do you think the ducks keep attacking? Okay, so now we'll put a couple of dimensionals down here. That's what I get for buying a purebred dog bread. I think that one's really funny myself. I know I'm easily amused. Very easily amused. Okay, now that I have some glue on my fingers, I think I can actually adjust this a little easier. Maybe that's a good tip, is to have a little bit of glue on your fingers. And then you're going to go, we really need white. You're pretty green. Maybe we'll just do you like this. Because I need it to be on the white. Because, boy, that green's pretty dark. And I don't know what else to do. I could put another big circle. That's a little bit big. Let's find something maybe that's a diamond shape. I don't know. I don't think so, but what do you think? Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. I just needed some white under there. It was way too dark. So we'll put one dimensional there, a little bit of glue there because I don't want it to be raised more than that. And dimensionals, we just won't do as many. 1, 2, really need 3. Let's do a half and a half. There we go. Now we've got 3 and they're in where I want them. Okay, here's my last joke for the day. To whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word. No, I love that one. That one's so funny. I know, I'm easily entertained. Okay, let's stick you like that. And then don't you think something tied onto that would be perfect? And what's more perfect than a bit of gold? Or in this case, I've got, you know what we have? Oh, I'd forgotten we had this. This is pretty nice. We have this wonderful shimmer ribbon in all of our in colors right now. Oh man, it's so pretty. This is the Parakeet Party one. You are sweet. It's very slim, so it works really well with something like this. You can get your fingers to not be all sticky. Okay, so I would, this is just the top of the card, but I don't really have time to do the bottom. So we are gonna just leave it as that, but I would just make a card base. Again, this one was pretty small, so this is 3.5 by 8. And then I found my goodies. So now we can put in our little Southern Comfort, slide that in there. I could put 2 in, I do have 2. There's my coffee. And then I can put on here, Happy Irish Coffee Day. In my little note, I can say have a happy, Irish Coffee Day. Anyhow, won't that be cute? You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for buying stuff in my store. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for subscribing to the newsletter. I appreciate that very much too. If you haven't, then go over to my webpage and find it, and then you can just subscribe to the newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter, and then I give at least one, and sometimes more than that. In fact, usually more than one tutorial, but sometimes just one. What is it? 2 more weeks of celebration. Don't miss it. And then, what are they going to do after that? Oh boy, it's going to be Easter before you know it. Can you believe it? I haven't done any Easter cards. I need to get going on that. That'll be my next thing. I've got this done. Now I'm on to Easter. Easter is fun. And I just finished with Valentine's Day. The year goes by so fast, doesn't it? It's just hard to believe how quick all of these holidays fly. It's kind of another reason I like doing cards. When I was in school, as a student, of course, your life revolves around the holidays and the days that you get off. But as an adult, also, because my husband was a teacher and I was a paraeducator, the few years that I did have to work, our whole lives still revolved around holidays. So it's just a habit for me. And this kind of helps me just keep celebrating that. And I love that. And it's nice to be able to send it to relatives and friends. Everybody likes it. It's like I said, getting happy mail in the mail, you don't get a lot of that. Mostly it's just junk mail or bills. And we don't even get bills anymore. Those are all online or on your phone. So it's nice to get something fun in the mail. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week. And you have a blessed and lovely day and a good, strong finish to the week. Thanks again. Bye.